Back to the ASHER Aptitude Assessment Center. This morning we're going to talk about the CPQ and how it works. First of all, it stands for the Comprehensive Personality Assessment. These assessments have been around for at least 100 years, starting with Dr. Freud, Dr. Jung, and today they've developed into very sophisticated tools that help us to hire the right people and get the right people in the right jobs and help them develop. When you take the CPQ, there are 8 characteristics that are measured, as shown here. Goal orientation is a measure of how much people want to get things done. So people with a high goal orientation want to get things done, boom, 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 fast. People with a low goal orientation are more laid back and will do the goals and the objectives within the company's normal bureaucracy. Need for control is the need to control your own situation. Not to control other people, is to control your own situation. People with a high need for control want to be independent. They want to do what they want to do, not what the bosses want them to do. Social confidence is level of assertiveness. Are you willing to confront other people when they're wrong? Social drive is the need to do networking, go out to and meet other people, talk to people on the elevators, and to have public recognition. Detail orientation is not liking details. It is people who like to do a lot of analysis before they make a decision. People with a high detail orientation want to do that analysis. People with a low detail orientation just make decisions from the gut, or the decisions just on how they basically feel. Good impression is the ability or the desire to leave a good impression on other people, better than what you actually are. So people that have a high good impression will exaggerate their strengths and downplay their weaknesses, and they will be very defensive when you try to criticize them. But people with a high good impression have high ego defenses, so they can handle rejection very well. It doesn't bother them at all. Need to nurture means the ability to nurture other people and build relationships and have good relationships. People who have a low need to nurture are more formal. And finally, skepticism is the degree that you're skeptical about other people. People with a high degree of skepticism don't trust anybody until it takes a long time for them to trust other people. People with a low degree of skepticism will essentially trust everybody right away until they prove them otherwise. So once you take the CPQ, it's online, it takes about 20 minutes to take it, you get a score for all 8 of these characteristics from 0 to 100%. And you're just getting a percentile score based on the other 3 or 4 million people who have ever taken it. Whether you're high or low or moderate in any of these 8 characteristics doesn't matter. High or low scores are not good or bad. The fact that I'm high in goal orientation does not make me a good person or a bad person. The fact that I'm low in detail orientation, again, doesn't make me bad or good. So these are not bad or good scores, they're just whatever it is. It's just a description of your personality. Now the reason these become important is because for every job, whether these are high or low or moderate is important. For example, for outside sales, you want salespeople to have a high goal orientation because you want them to have a quota and meet the quota and make the sales. Somebody in customer service, you'd want this to be fairly low because you don't want them to get people off the phone right away. You want them to stay on the phone until the customer is happy. Outside salespeople, you usually want them with a high need for control, because they're the people who want to get out there and be entrepreneurs and be by themselves and travel and make sales and not be micromanaged by supervisors. Also for salespeople, you want them to have a high degree of social confidence. They need to go out and meet new people and that sort of thing. So all of these characteristics, none are bad or good. It's only important when you look at a specific job on whether they're high or low. And so if you look at the way this works from a job standpoint, for every job there's a bell curve. That is, some people will be low in natural talent for the job. Some people will be high in natural talent. That is, these 8 characteristics are all in alignment. And some are moderate. This applies to every job in the company. Let's just take one example, outside sales. If a candidate scores over 40, they will outsell candidates who score less than 30 by a factor of 4. This comes from hundreds of correlation studies done by the big sales institutes over decades of experience. So generally, if you get somebody who scores over 40, hire them immediately and put them in sales before the competition hears about them. If they score less than 30, don't hire them and put them in sales. they may be much better suited for customer service or an HR professional. Because if you put them in sales, you're probably not going to get the results that you expect. And so once you take the CPQ, you get a score from 0 to 50 for any job you want to look at. Let's take me as an example. I am a 46 for outside hunter salesperson. That is, go get a new account. So that would be a good job for me. I'm a 41 for account manager. That is, once you have the customer, take care of the customer, upsell, cross-sell, do a good job, go to dinner, play golf with it. I'm a 31 for sales manager. This is the job of mentoring and coaching snotty-nosed, sniveling salespeople. Can you imagine how I feel about the job already? Not too good. I'm a 21 for inside sales, cold calling and prospecting, so not a particularly good job for me. And I'm a 17 for customer service rep. Another job that's not particularly good for me. So if you were the hiring manager and you had lots of job openings, you probably would not want me in a customer service job. You wouldn't want me in inside sales. You probably would not want me managing your sales force. But if you had openings as an account manager or a hunter salesperson, then I could be a candidate. I could probably do well in those jobs. Now let's take customer service. When I got out of the university, if I had proper training in product knowledge and in customer service skills, and I was put in a customer service job, I could have been okay. But I wouldn't have loved the job. I wouldn't have stayed in the job as a career. And if you were my manager, you probably would not be routinely assessing me for Customer Service Rep of the Month award. So even though I could have done an adequate job with the proper training, I probably wouldn't stay in the job, wouldn't be happy. And the reason is, for probably 3 or 4 of these 8 characteristics, they would not be suited for the job. So the way the CPQ works is, these 8 characteristics are measured. Whether you're high or low is not good or bad, but how these apply to a specific job means you're either not suited, moderately suited, or very well suited for the job. And just to give an example, for sales, this is months. When you hire a new salesperson in, first month is training, indoctrination, fitting into the culture of the company, learning the products and services. And after the first month, the sales manager hopes sales would go up. New salesperson, more sales. But let's say we didn't assess their natural talent for this, and if we had, they'd have gotten an 18. Now, oops, after the first month's data, not much sales going on. After the second month, still not so hot. If you ask most average sales managers, they'll say, well, let's send them to training, but that probably isn't going to work either. So the reason this is called the 700 RMB hiring mistake is because once we finally figured this out and finally gotten rid of the person and hired another person, it's a 6 months where we have no sales. If we'd hired the right person, then we would have gotten these sales. So that's why these aptitude assessments are so important. They allow us to get the right people in the right job based on their 8 characteristics that are a fit for the particular job. In the next segment, we're going to discuss how you can use this information as a hiring manager and a development manager, like a CEO, VP of sales, or an HR manager.